All right, friends, for this video, you are going to need to get one of the mixtures sheets from the front table and have your pencil out and ready. So go ahead and get that now. All right, so for our notes, we're going to go ahead and go through and fill in our blanks together about mixtures, and we're going to talk about a little bit of our stations. Then we're going to glue this into our notebook, and then we're going to do our notes for solution. So the first one says a mixture is a blank of blank or more blank. So a mixture is a combination of two or more substances. So I'm going to write that in, and then you can copy it down. So there we have, a mixture is a combination. So you're combining two or more substances. So think about when we were mixing the yellow and the white beads or the yellow and the metal beads. Did the properties change? No, they did not change because each substance kept its physical properties. So when it asked you on those cards, did their properties change? No. Their physical properties did not change. So can you separate the mixtures? So could you separate them? Yes. Usually easy to separate. So some of you were able to use a magnet to separate the metal ones from the plastic ones, or you were able to separate the ones that floated from the ones that sank. So how can you separate? Well, if you think about the sand, we used a filter. Then I said we used magnets. We used a sieve, S-I-E-V-E, which was like the strainer. That's what we used. You could use tweezers and evaporation using a hot plate. So if we heated up the water, it would evaporate. So all that we were left with is whatever was mixed in with it. So let's copy that down, and then we'll go over the last part. So for us, we were sieving, which if you look right here, this is gravel, this is the sieve, ours was the strainer, so we were sieving, and the sand came out of it. So if you can't see your sand real well on your picture, just go ahead and draw that in. So sieving is used to separate a dry mixture. So go ahead and make sure you have your sand picture and those blanks filled in. So we said sieving is used to separate a dry mixture which contains substances of different sizes by passing through the sieve. So the gravel stayed up here because it was bigger, and this sieve has the holes in it, and the sand traveled through it because it's smaller. It's got different sizes. So make sure you have all of this copied down, and then get your notebook and a glue stick. All right, go ahead and open your notebook to page 13 and title it Mixtures. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to take your glue stick and glue around just the outside part and then glue it vertically on page 13. Once you've done that, you need to go back to the front of the classroom and get the paper for solutions. Do that now. All right, so make sure you have this paper right here that says solution, and we're going to go ahead and fill this one in together. So a solution is a mixture of one substance that dissolved evenly in another. So the one substance dissolves into another one. So when it dissolves evenly into another, dissolve is the breaking down of a solid into a liquid. So think about some of the stations you went to where the solid dissolved into the liquid. When something dissolves into another substance, we call that solubility. So its solubility is the ability to dissolve into another one. So then it is soluble if it does that. So if it can be dissolved, it's soluble. So make sure you have that part written down, and then we'll go over the next one. Pause whenever you need to catch up. Okay, so let's think about our stations. Did the properties change when mixed? So the solution, did the properties change? In this case, yes, the physical properties did change because the sugar dissolved. It's no longer a solid and a liquid. It's now a solution together. So the properties did change because the sugar dissolved. So can you separate it? Some of us talked about this in our groups. Can you separate it easily? No, but can you separate it? Yes. Yes, you can. So I want you to think for a second of how you could separate it. Read through this sentence and see if you have an idea for these two blanks, and then we're going to talk about it. So pause and figure it out if you can. All right, so hopefully you came up with this. I can separate the solution by evaporation or adding heat. The sugar and flavoring will be left in the glass when the water is evaporated. So the water could be evaporated. So some examples of solutions are sugar dissolving in tea, salt water like the bottles we had up front, chocolate milk because the chocolate and milk gets mixed together and it's a solution. The chocolate goes into the milk. Colored water, also like that was on the front table. Lemonade and Kool-Aid. So go ahead and get your notebook and your glue stick again. Make sure you have all that written down first. All right, go ahead and number page 14 and 15. So 14 on the left, 15 on the right. Title page 15, Solutions. Then you're going to get your glue stick, glue around the outside, and glue it onto page 15. Then I'm going to go over one more thing with you. Okay, so first of all, I want you to go ahead and go fill out your table of contents through page 15, but we're going to leave 14 blank on your table of contents. So go ahead and go fill that in right now. Then you need to head to the front table to get this sheet right here. It says classifying matter. So go ahead and get that and write your name and block number somewhere on it. Do that. Okay, so at the center of each table group, you have these items. What you're going to do is you're going to go through, you're going to tell me the mass in grams. The tool we use to find mass is the triple beam balance. So you're going to find the mass of these items. Then you're going to tell me their physical state. So is it a solid, a liquid, or a gas? Then you're going to figure out which tool to use at your table to find out if it's magnetic or non-magnetic. For the conductivity, we're not going to do that yet. So I want you to mark out that column. You're not going to do that column. Then solubility in water. So can it become soluble? Is it able to dissolve into the water? And then relative density, you're going to tell me, can it sink or can it float? Which one does it do? When you're done with this, you're going to turn it into whichever tray is yours over on the wall. So make sure you're paying attention to block 1, block 2, block 3, or block 4. If you have any questions, I'll be walking around. Please ask. Don't worry. If you don't finish this today, we'll have a little bit of time on Thursday. So don't freak out. All right. Make sure you have that done. Thanks, friends.